This is Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. Most importantly, thanks for listening. This is Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. It's all powered by Bowen Wealth. You can get more when you visit bowenwealth.com, and you can find that and all the information in the show notes. My name is Mark Owens. Now, let's get to the show. Brandon, listen, I know you take your fitness very seriously. You go to the gym 5-7 days a week?
Come on. Well, I appreciate it. I would say I try to get maybe 4, Okay. So I'd say 3 to 4 I average.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
My New Year's resolution going into 2024 was to go to the gym, at least 7
I'm sorry,
times.
I'm laughing. Why am I laughing, right?
and listen, I'm on 3 of those 7 times. So listen, I've still got time to complete.
Yes.
But this week, listen, all bets are off. Do you get mentally and physically prepared, like take the Joey Chestnut attitude where, have a couple of big meals and prepare? Or do you still all things in moderation for you and the family?
All things in moderation. I will commit to not getting on the scale afterwards. It's a cheat week.
That's
okay.
Right.
So I'm super excited. I'm already salivating. The smells, the food, the drinks, I can't wait. So I have at it and then just put in the work afterwards.
I do want to hear before we get to it. I'll give you a couple of minutes to think about it. Like your favorite traditions, especially Thanksgiving with you and the girls. No matter what happens, what's on the dinner table, this makes it a successful Thanksgiving every year. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you time.
We'll get to it. Okay.
Bowenwealth.com, 843-890-2400. A lot of great stuff to get to here this weekend on Charleston's Retirement Coach. But speaking of, hopefully everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully that recipe, maybe you're trying something new. Maybe you're deep frying a turkey for the first time. Hopefully it all pays off and you have enough to feed the entire crowd. But Brandon, is there a comparison between the holiday feast that we're preparing for and also preparing for retirement?
There is. So what I would say with this whole scenario, like in my mind, I want to see a big old long counter full of all kind of options, right? Food options and so many things. So how do we get to that point to where we're sitting down, which by the way, I think the perfect time for Thanksgiving is probably like a 2:00.
Oh, amen.
You had a good breakfast,
yes,
but
sir.
Yeah, a good base.
And then
you just start working. That's right.
Yep.
Yes. And then you can sleep with the tryptophan. You can watch and
then wake up and then round number 2.
Yes. So I want to see this big reward, this big spread. So how do we get to that point? Well, you first, when you first start off, and maybe like with me, we have a huge family, right? I've got, my dad, my 2 sisters, and they've got big families, and there's like 20 of us. Okay. And so we all, like even the days before, we're like, everybody's saying, okay, I got this. You got that. Carmen, can you make that strawberry pretzel salad, which is debatable. Is it a side or is it a dessert? Strawberry pretzel salad. But
it's both.
It's both, yes. So everybody's picked up on that. The guys, we're fixing that main course, that entree, the turkey, the ham. You got to have the honey baked ham. So you've got to have a plan, okay? Got to have a plan. Same thing in retirement. You cannot just head gosh, I hope to retire next year, or gosh, I hope we make it. You can't just enter retirement without a plan. Right? That's ludicrous here. But a lot of people think, okay, we'll just keep doing what we've been doing. My advisor, I guess they've got it. They'll just keep investing for growth and taking on all this risk. And geez, I hope we don't have a crash. I know we're overdue for a crash, a big one. You cannot enter Thanksgiving like that. Right. So you've got to have the plan.
So the plan is almost like the recipe.
Yes. Yeah. It like a recipe, right? So you've got to have, okay, who's making what? And I would say the recipe, and also that entree, I mentioned it a second ago, right? When I say you've got your entree and then the sides, in retirement, your entree is income. That's the main course of retirement. And so once you're in retirement there, you've got to have, you've got to have that income. That is that's the base, the foundation of your retirement plan. Okay. The second thing is, okay, once you have that plan, maybe with your siblings or your, whoever, maybe you've got whatever you're making, you've got to then take inventory of what you already have. So if you know certain sides that you need or certain a brine for the turkey or whatever, you might then go to your pantry and go, all right, well, what do I, let's look around. What do I already have? You might have some ingredients and some things that you already have, right? So that's the same as what I'm talking about in retirement here is we now have to look at, okay, what do you have? What have you saved already? for retirement. You might have a couple Social Security income streams that you need to make a decision on. Well, okay, that's going to be very helpful. We need income for retirement. So let's just make sure we talk about that, and let's maybe pick the best strategy for you and your situation. Maybe you've got a pension in play, a decision to make with work. Okay. And so let's look, okay, what do we want to do with this pension? Do we want survivor benefits, based on my spouse's age? What's the best decision there? Do we want to take the lump sum option if that's of it? So take a look at, okay, what have you done? What hard work have you done already? And then, make those educated decisions, which then of course is, what do you need? Okay. Right. So once you know what you have, then that basically says, okay, well, gosh, I got to go to the store with everybody else in Charleston, right? We got to go to the store now, and you're fighting, throwing bows, trying to get to whatever you might need. That dressing. I know it's the wine aisle too. You don't forget that. Okay, what do I need? So you're going, and so we've got to now go shop and get what we don't have already. And this is definitely what I do here in retirement planning. Is we might look at what you have, and it might be a portfolio that's built for a 40-year-old, not a 65-year-old. So I might say, hey, we got to call a timeout. We got to go to the store. We got to go to the marketplace here. We need to add this, and this. We're very overweight. Speaking of overweight, we're very overweight, maybe with risk and stocks and things like that. And we need to add some stability, right? You want to be able to sleep. But say we go into a market crash or a bear market for 2 or 3 years, I want you to, your blood pressure to not be at a all-time high that whole time, right? We've got to have some diversification. So there's going to be a list, a grocery list or a market list of things that we might need to add to your portfolio.
Give me a couple of examples of when you take a deep dive into somebody's portfolio, what are some of those ingredients? What are some of the things they need to add?
Yeah. So most always we're having to add some more defensive positions. So this could be more of like, okay, let's not invest so much in individual stocks, but we might add some broad ETFs. And that would be exchange traded funds. Okay. So we might need to add some of that. We might need to add in an annuity. Okay. Now I like some of the best no fee annuities. Now there's a lot of bad, junky, costly annuities. I don't like those, right? I like some of the best, most efficient, no fee, beautiful, guaranteed no losses. So we might need to add some of that right there, some more income producing assets for retirement. Okay. We might need to add different tax statuses to your plan. You might have a portfolio that's all tax deferred money, all 401k or IRA. And the problem there is you are a walking tax bomb. So down the road, maybe 5 years, 10 years down the road, who knows what tax brackets are going to be, right? Now, what if the political winds shift all the way back to the other side here and DC turns all blue? All 3 branches of government go blue, let's say in a few years, and tax policy changes. And now you just walked past several years where we could have been doing some tax planning. So we might need to add maybe a Roth IRA and do some Roth conversions here while tax brackets might be a little bit low or very low when you look historically speaking. Okay. So we might need to add some of that stuff. So that's what we add. And then I would say the last thing, of course, is you got to set some timers on your food.
Yeah.
Right. Heck, you can't. I can burn it with the best of them out
right.
there. If you start watching the football and you're like, oh shoot, I got to run back out, check my Kamado Joe or my green egg, see what's going on with the turkey, my temperature, your time and temperature. You've got to have that set. You've got to be measuring the progress of your portfolio. Okay, and so because if you leave it in too long and the markets crash, or you miss some exit points here, you don't file properly with Social Security. I had some people come in and they actually had missed out on 20 years of a pension. Oh my gosh, this could be a whole segment, Mark. Yeah. They came in, they're in their mid 70s, and I uncovered a pension that he had available, and we called in and there was no lump sum option. They were like, we're sorry, all he can do is start it now. And I'm like, but he's in bad health and he's missed out on 20 years of this income. So you've got to measure this progress. You've got to have a chef that's going to stay in the kitchen. And that's also what I provide. That's what I do. We put this plan in place, and it is my job to stay in the kitchen. I'm going to say, shoot, get out of here, go watch some football, go sit at the table with the ladies, you guys go talk, go catch up, right? You go on a walk, a little pregame exercise here.
Smart.
Yeah, I'm going to stay in the kitchen, and I'm going to watch this stuff, and then I'm going to notify you when it's time to come in. Okay, it is time. Come on in. Let's start pulling this stuff out. Let's start getting it ready for presentation, whatever. Call the kids in, get them washed up, right? So that's my job as your coach, as your financial coach here is to help
your chef, your financial chef, if you will.
There we go. That's right. So that's what I do is we've got to measure that success so that we can have that just the beautiful turkey, the nice smoke ring on there. It's just, we're loving it. And it's just the best memories, which, that's a great retirement is all the memories that you're making.
843-890-2400. As we're making the analogy this weekend here about preparing for Thanksgiving and also your retirement strategies, is it possible to overcook a plan?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is possible. Yeah. Let's see. It just gets stale. And so it might be okay, right? Like right now, the markets are just soaring. Okay. You might think, my guy's good. My girl's got it. Look at this balance, right? And so you're just letting it go. And what happens is it's not burned until it's burned.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's until this thing crashes. And then you go, what happened? I thought you were watching this money. Why didn't we make any changes when the markets were at all-time high? And they're like pointing at you, you're pointing at them. And, that's not a good situation here. So you can burn a portfolio. And I'm telling you, Mark, when this market changes and when we have this crash, it's going to be so many people are going to have a wrecked retirement, a wrecked plan because they basically got lazy. And they just thought it was going to continue forever and ever. And we know that's not the case.
What's the best way to reach out to you so we can personally have a deeper version of this conversation, even during the holidays? I know you're busy. I know there's a lot going on, but you can talk to us now.
Yeah, and I've been talking to, there's several people that have reached out, and I've said, hey, how about, after the holidays, we got a good solid 2 weeks, and then we got Christmas, and no stress. Let's just have a good casual conversation. We'll pick it up when the time's right. Do not worry about that. But yes, it's my phone number. Grab your phone right now if you're listening. Shoot us a quick text. Maybe if just driving and you're heading to the store, you're about to go into the store, like if it's not a good time, just shoot us a quick text. My number's 843-890-2400. 843-890-2400. Just text the words second opinion. Right? Second opinion, shoot that text, 843-890-2400. And then Tanya, my staff, she's my receptionist. You'll meet her when you come in. She will respond right back to you, say, hey, is now a good time for a conversation? Or do you want us to reach out on Monday or after Thanksgiving week, whatever? Or if you want to go ahead and talk to her, call her right now, 843-890-2400. And if you save $500,000 or more, and know that you need this plan in place, that you're heading into retirement, you don't have the plan, you haven't gotten that recipe together, you haven't taken inventory of what you have and what you need, and you want someone to be watching these funds and these accounts for you. That's what I'll do for you. 843-890-2400.
As we're making the comparison, it's get a recipe, which is also your plan. Take inventory of the ingredients you already have, which is like your income streams like Social Security, your 401k, if you're lucky to have a pension, but also identify the ingredients that you need. Do you need to be more diversified? Maybe you need more allocation in your 401k. And most importantly, measure your progress. Keep an eye on it. Let Brandon be your chef on this retirement portfolio. Is that fair to say?
It is, yes.
843-890-2400 are always available at bowenwealth.com. You just mentioned it. The market's been on fire. After the election, we saw huge gains in the market. And I say a couple of weeks because it did not last for long. Mm-hmm. So while the market is hot, is it still the best place to put your money? I want you to hear this clip from hedge fund investment officer Karen Carnell-Tambor on Yahoo Finance.
So I think there's a lot of reason to believe that the stock market has room to run, and that the most negative aspect is, valuations have gotten somewhat stretched, but not that stretched. In the most stretched corners of the market, when you look at things like AI, valuations have gone up somewhat, but also to a large extent have kept up with actual earnings increases. On the other hand, what you can't ignore is that people's exposure to the stock market today is radically different than normal. People are very, very exposed to the stock market. So almost any portfolio I look at, what you see is that almost any source of diversification people used to have has really eroded because you've had such a run.
Market conditions are really unpredictable right now, Brandon. But the question is, how do you help your clients, the families you serve? How do you help them stay diversified in these kind of volatile times?
Yeah, and this is so true. It's so good, so timely right now because I am seeing this. When people come in, for example, I had some potential clients here come in just this past week, and we were talking. He was so excited and elated about the election results. So he's like, it was so good, Brandon. The week of the election, I got looked at my statements. I was up $100,000. in 1 week. That was up
Nice.
$100,000.
Yep.
But then he said, but Brandon, the very next week I was down $100,000.
Not good.
Yeah. And he was like, I can't handle this anymore. He's on some roller coaster here. And he's like, I want off of this thing. This is not what I had envisioned for retirement. Okay. And so when we reviewed his portfolio, what I showed him, and he kind of knew this already, was that he was massively overexposed in the stock market. Okay. Large cap equities, over 90% exposure there. And, and I bet you listening, you are probably committing the same offense, maybe not that to that level here, but if a certain asset class has just been running and running and running and running, and your advisor or you aren't taking your winnings off the table, and you're not selling high and trying to still stay disciplined here with diversified portfolios and asset classes and things, then what we see is a massively out of balance portfolio. Here's another analogy. I love golf, right, Mark?
Oh yeah.
Love golf.
How's
here.
your game? What's your handicap?
I'm a 4 index right
Dang,
now.
son.
It needs to go higher because I'm always like, I don't know.
They want you to be the ringer.
Yes.
That's
and then
the
I play other people and I don't feel like I'm a 4, but then I'm having to give all these strokes.
Brandon, when you're no good like me, the expectations are so low that if you actually have a good round, everybody treats you like a king. So.
That's right. So, okay. So have you ever thought about, this has happened. I've seen this before, a competition where you play a round of golf with one club.
Never have, no.
One club. I think I would take a 6-iron, by the way, just saying.
Okay.
But that would be really hard. You're having to kind of make do with the 6-iron. But
Yeah.
the rule says that you can take 14 clubs. And there's a reason. We need 14 clubs. Some people cheat. They might have 15 clubs because they got this weird wedge or something in there, some hybrid, and I'm counting their clubs. You're cheating, man. Sometimes we need growth from our portfolio. Sometimes we need growth, and that is our younger years. And so it's just like in golf. Sometimes we need to bomb a drive, like Phil Mickelson says.
Yes,
we
sir.
hit bombs. We're hitting bombs down there. We need to be able to go long on our par 5s and some par 4s, things like that. We need to hit it long distance there. So that's good. We've got to have a driver. We need to be able to hit a driver if we're going to be good at golf. And we got to be able to make some growth if we're going to be good in the with our money. We've got to be able to grow our money when the getting's good. Then there's other times when we need some accuracy with our portfolio. Okay. And that might be a complementary piece to a portfolio, or if you're maybe within the 5 years before you enter retirement, we might accentuate, okay, we don't need so much volatility, but we still want measured gains. We still need some progress. So we're going to diversify. We're going to spread out our risk a bit, maybe with some broad ETFs, things like that. Okay. So that in golf, this might be similar to a nice solid 7-iron.
Okay.
9-iron. Okay. Right. We need some accuracy. It's that approach shot into the green. Okay. So that's one of my strengths of my game, I believe, is, kind of my irons, my mid, long irons, short irons. I love hitting my irons. Okay. So that's really nice. And then finally, with your portfolio, we need, in retirement especially, we need consistent, predictable income.
Yes, sir.
all you need to do is be able to wake up every day and know that this money is hitting your account. That is a fun retirement. You are spending, you're giving money, you're blessing your church or charities, your kids, your grandkids, right? When you have tremendous income, even excess income, your stress is down. You're a fun person to be around.
Yeah. That's like that wedge shot, from about 80, 85 yards out.
Ooh,
and
talk to me.
You hit it perfect, right in the middle, right in the face, and you hear it, and you don't even look up yet. This is going to be good.
Yeah, you've spun it really nice. You
Yes.
caught it perfectly. Oh, you just look up and it goes, and it just stops. And everyone's like, "Oh, Mark!" So there you go. So in golf, that's that wedge game or putting. Right, putting's the worst part of my game.
Yes,
but when I'm putting well, that's when I'm shooting my index or better. Okay, so putting needs to be where we know that we've got this income, and so with your portfolio, that's why we design your portfolio for solid income. And we look at all kind of different asset classes, all different ways to provide that same goal of consistent, steady income. Bottom line, I would say in retirement, I hope, number one, that you play a lot of golf.
Yes, sir. Okay?
And invite me and Mark, call us.
Listen,
we can be there. Just just need a little bit of time.
I will make you feel so much better about your game.
There you go. You're going to be complimentary, and you're going to go, man, at least I'm not as bad as him.
I'm going to cheer you on, and you're going to see my drive and go, wow. Second tee box, he's already lost 4 balls. What is happening?
Yes. So in retirement, your portfolio, it's got to have these multiple asset classes, maybe not 14 asset classes, but we're going to look at what do you need? Let's add it in there because they're all tools. Okay. They're tools that help us accomplish different goals. We're also going to have different tax statuses in your retirement, different, but we're going to pursue growth differently in a Roth IRA because all that growth is tax free, right? Mm-hmm. That's going to hold our driver. That's going to hold all the long iron shots. That's going to be where we really try to double our money every 5 to 7 years. That's going to be in our Roth IRA. Okay. Then you might have other tax statuses, and we're going to be, it's the purpose of that money might be for more modest gains, or it might be for that 4-foot putt where we got to be hitting it. The 5-foot putt, we got to make those. If we're going to be good, if we're going to be consistent, we've got to make the short stuff. Okay. And so we've got to get that income. We got to have it coming in consistent and steady where you're like on the pro tour. Those guys, their money, they can make that putt almost every time. So that's what we're going to do. The way I want to do this, if you've saved $500,000 or more and I would say within 5 years of retirement, or if you're already retired, holy smokes, call me now. But if you're there, if you're right there, if it's 30 minutes before your tee time and it is time to get this plan in place, call me. You deserve a risk analysis. We're going to take a look at your portfolio and see if you're overweight equities. Okay. Maybe it was a fun ride to get to this point, and this is kind of the last exit here before it starts to get crazy, right? This Trump election here, we do think these next 3 to 6 months are going to be extremely volatile. When he starts implementing tariffs and starts disrupting things, the market does not like disruption. So hear me now. This is your final warning. Okay. Let's put this plan together. Let's start diversifying your portfolio. If you've saved $500,000 or more, I'm going to provide for you your own complimentary risk analysis. So my phone number, grab your phone. The number is 843-890-2400. 843-890-2400. Text the word risk, and I'll know exactly what you need, okay? 843-890-2400.
And you don't want to be that guy that comes rolling up 2 minutes before tea time.
Yes, tucking in their shirt. So sloppy.
Throwing their glove on. Hey, you got any teas I can borrow? Okay, all right, I'm up. I'm all right. Okay,
and then that very first drive, Mark, it's like almost a whiff.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, and you're like, okay. And then, but you can't complain. Then you're like, why am I playing such a bad game? Because you got here about 2 minutes ago.
I'm normally better than this. I'm like, come warm up a little bit.
Don't be that guy.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. It takes some time, and it takes a little bit of practice, just like that with retirement planning. It takes some time. Now is the right time to give the team at Bowen Wealth a call. 843-890-2400, bowenwealth.com. Again, you can call, you can text. We have a team member manning the phones and the text line right now, 843-890-2400. We're bumping up against it, but I told you I wanted to hear some of your Thanksgiving memories. So for you personally, Brandon Bowen, what is your favorite aspect of Thanksgiving? It can either be the week or a tradition. What do you look forward to the most this week?
Yeah, so it might sound cheesy, but of course it's the family. It's being around family. And the best illustration is like on Home Alone, you know, where they're running around before they leave for their trip. That's what we got 20 people.
Oh, geez.
And it's aunt and uncles and then all these cousins and grandparents and it's hectic. It's crazy, but it's beautiful. It is beautiful. I love it. Just the smells of all the food, and inevitably there'll be, a disagreement here and there. There might be something get burned or whatever, but it's just fun. And then the kids, somebody's being mean, and it's crazy, but it's our family and we love it. And I'm so thankful.
It's that beautiful controlled chaos with the family.
That's right.
Thanks for listening to Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. To learn more, visit bowenwealth.com and join Brandon for his radio show, Charleston's Retirement Coach, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 94.3 WSC.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Brandon Bowen is licensed in your state, please call 843-203-2030. J. Brandon Bowen is an investment advisor representative of Bowen Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. J. Brandon Bowen is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Bowen Wealth LLC, insurance licensed in South Carolina. Market Guard is a registered investment advisor with the SEC and provides model portfolios only to Impact Partnership Wealth. Market Guard makes no implied warranties or representations and is not liable for any data presented.